Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. This morning, I just couldn't believe what I was actually reading. I checked multiple news outlets and I found out that this man had to be this man, right? Had to be Thomas Tuchel who had to replace Julian Nagelsmann. I don't know how you guys are feeling about this news, but it's honestly come as a surprise to all of us. If someone of you told me that you had predicted this, then I would think you're a bloody liar, because no one would have predicted this. Even people inside the Bayern board probably would not have predicted this to happen. I mean, okay, there were rumors around that Tuchel Bayern, but I always thought that they'll wait till the summer because it's not that bad, right? Bayern still have to play Dortmund, they have to play Freiburg, and then they'll have to play us in the Champions League quarterfinals. Those are the last next three matches, in fact. So by the end of the next three matches, who knows? Julian Nagelsmann could have won those three matches and Bayern could be top of the Bundesliga, well on their way to the Champions League semi-finals and all of those things. So it's not a shambolic season that Bayern were, languishing third or fourth or way past second in way past the first place. They were second in the Bundesliga and stuff. Nothing like that. Bayern were there. Probably the Bayern board thinks. I think it doesn't have anything to do with the playing style and stuff. There were reports of rift with Manuel Neuer and all of those things. I mean, well, we don't care about the internal politics of Bayern Munich, right? It's how it is. But what I'm interested in is Thomas Tuchel comes back. Is it deja vu for City and Pep Guardiola? Thomas Tuchel and Pep Guardiola in the Champions League. Well, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go on that painful night, 2020 Champions League final, right? Don't want to go back there again. But what is it? How do you think now Pep will approach this tie? Surely there'll be a change in the tactics. Surely there'll be a change in the ideas of how Pep will approach this game. But according to me, I think playing Julian Nagelsmann's Bayern was. I know Bayern just conceded 3 goals in the Champions League in Champions League till now. They are pretty hard to score against, and stuff like that. They're pretty hard to beat, and they have pace on the flanks. Nagelsmann likes to play almost the Pep way, right? He most likes to pass the ball, move the ball, that kind of a thing, It's, you can see shades of Pep Guardiola's inspiration in Nagelsmann. So I always thought that playing with Nagelsmann would have been an open game for City. It would not be like the PSG game. PSG was shit in the last 16 against Bayern, but I thought it would be an open game. I thought it would be a game where it would almost be an end-to-end game. Would be fun affair. But now with Tuchel, the equations have changed. Now with Thomas Tuchel, it's almost like I wouldn't be surprised if Tuchel sits back with that kind of a defense and looks to it as on the counter with Gnabry, Coman, Sane, Choupo-Moting, Goretzka in the midfield, Thomas Muller making those runs. Wow, if Thomas Tuchel really wants to sit back and hit us on the break, wow, that will be something else. Will be interesting to see what kind of an approach Thomas Tuchel will take. My first reaction is it won't be easy. It won't be easy playing against a Bayern. Now Thomas Tuchel is here because he likes to sit back, and especially against a team when they have top wingers, especially against a team when they have pace on the flanks, pacey fullbacks, someone like Joao Cancelo, for example, providing the service as well. Alfonso Davies on the other flank. It's, I mean, when you play against such a team who literally want to counter you, then it's almost like you play with all the risk. You play with the risk of having a perfect 90 minutes, and they play with a chance of having perfect 5-10 seconds, a minute or two for the counter attack. So those are the odds. You need to have a perfect 180 minutes. They need to just have 2 minutes out of that 180 minutes to win the game. So those are the odds we are dealing against, especially when you're playing against a team which Thomas Tuchel likes to set up like in sort of parking the bus and stuff. But will Bayern accept parking the bus? Will that ego of Bayern accept that? I do not know. I very well do not know. So very interesting to note. We have a few other pieces of news to go through today. Bernardo Silva is the next one. I know it's been happening since 2019, rumbles in 2018 maybe, but since 2019, every summer we are getting news that Bernardo Silva wants to leave the club. Bernardo Silva wants to leave the club. Nothing on the player again. The player has been absolutely fantastic. The player has been very good, very loyal to the club. He has asked for some moves, but when the move didn't materialize, Bernardo Silva didn't flinch like a few other players have, not at City, but generally would have done in the past. He didn't flinch. He gave everything for the club. He always is a player who runs the furthest. If you see the stats at the end of the season, he's a unique kind of a player, I would say. Can play left back, right wing, central midfield, box to box, attacking midfield, false nine. I think other than the goalkeeper position, this guy sometimes he plays centre back. I mean, not real centre back in the formation, but he goes into those positions to receive the ball, does Rodri's job sometimes. So can play everywhere, can literally play everywhere except the goalkeeper position maybe. So the question is, how do you replace him? I mean, first let me complete the news that PSG wants to give around 40-50 million pounds for Bernardo Silva. I think those are the news. PSG is really interested. They are said they want to stump up the cash. Real Madrid may be looking at him just to guide the inexperience of Suamini, Camavinga, Valverde. I think Bernardo Silva would be wonderful in that Real Madrid midfield. Just be fantastic. But I think PSG and Real Madrid are in the race for Bernardo Silva. So it will be interesting to see how that actually goes. But I probably think that at last Bernardo Silva might just leave the club because what is 28 now is almost turning 29 soon. So I think this will be the next big deal, the next major deal he'll make in his career. So because now if he strikes a deal with City, it will be for 3-4 years. So then I think he'll be winding up his career. So I think he'll go this season. He'll go this season. Now, how do you replace him is the next question. Honestly, I've told on this channel before that probably Alexis McAllister could be a great choice to replace him. Alexis McAllister has a few attributes. He can dribble the ball in tight spaces. He likes to make that run forward. He's defensively astute like Bernardo Silva. But can Alexis McAllister play a central midfield? I mean, yes, he can of course play central midfield. But can Alexis McAllister take the ball of his centre backs going into the position like Bernardo Silva does? Can Alexis McAllister play on the right wing? Can Alexis McAllister play elsewhere on the field? That's question mark. I don't think in the world you can get versatile player like Bernardo Silva. It's extremely rare, It's extremely rare. So I don't think we'll go straight for straight replacement for Bernardo Silva. Probably the nearest replacement I see for Bernardo Silva right now is he's already playing in the team. He's Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish, we have seen for Aston Villa, he's played in the central midfield. He's played just behind the striker for Aston Villa. He can carry the ball up. We have seen at City, he can carry the ball from the defenders. He's very secure in that. He can play on the wings. I don't know, he can play left back or something, but his defensive work rate just seems to improve a lot. I remember he's made a great tackle a few weeks back. So Jack Grealish is interesting. I think Jack Grealish is the perfect replacement for Bernardo Silva. Jack Grealish, I'm thinking we'll move Jack Grealish into the midfield actually. And like many people think Jude Bellingham, no, Jude Bellingham is not the perfect replacement for Bernardo Silva. Jude Bellingham is a different kind of a player. I don't think Jude Bellingham provides you with the versatility that a Bernardo Silva does. So for me, I think Jack Grealish is the perfect replacement for Bernardo Silva. We had bought Jack Grealish before when I think in 2018-19 when Bernardo Silva wanted to leave, and I think when Bernardo Silva finally leaves, I think Jack Grealish is ready to take over that position. Florian Wirtz is another interesting name to whom we are actually linked. Just yesterday, I think a couple of outlets are linking us to Florian Wirtz. Real Madrid really wanted him. Real Madrid are on the trials of him, and City have also joined the race for Florian Wirtz. What I would like to say is, I think if we get Jude Bellingham, we are not going to get Florian Wirtz. I think because whoever comes, I think they are coming in as a replacement for KDB. I mean, you might find it odd, but I see that Jude Bellingham would eventually move into that attacking midfielder role. He's not the Gundogan replacement. Pep will not play him alongside Rodri, for example, as a pivot or as a box-to-box midfielder. I think be it Florian Wirtz or be it Ilkay Gundogan, we are getting either of them to be a KDB replacement. People might laugh at this. People might say, "How is this possible?" But I think we are now actively trying to look for a KDB replacement. Not that KDB will be out in the summer or KDB's form will dip in the summer, but the fact that probably someone coming at City, Jack Grealish is an example, Rodri is an example, Calvin Phillips is a live example, Mahrez is an example, that people coming in at City will take 1 year, Jack Grealish took 1.5 years. So I think City want to have a timeline of 1 to 2 years somewhere in between to bed in the next young talent. So I think we are bringing in Wirtz or Bellingham, and we are looking at an year or more than a year time to actually bet them in. So that's why we are looking at these players, Florian Wirtz and Jude Bellingham. Florian Wirtz is actually very interesting. You can look at his strengths and weaknesses. I mean, he likes to do through balls. Florian Wirtz is excellent at through balls. Let us talk about the positions which Florian Wirtz like to play. So Florian Wirtz loves to play off the striker. He loves to play attacking midfield. Obviously, he loves to play on the left wing. Probably could play on the right wing. So now we can see the similarity to the positions which De Bruyne takes up. De Bruyne plays off the striker. Of course, these are attacking midfielder. Of course, it drifts on to the right or the left when needed. So I think you can see more of a KDB similarities to Florian Wirtz than to an Jude Bellingham. So I actually think Jude Bellingham is all in that midfield, attacking midfield, box to box, can take the ball of the defender, for example. So he's all a package in the midfield. But Florian Wirtz is a package in your attacking thirds, attacking midfield, and attacking front. So I'm very interested in Florian Wirtz, and you do not know where Jude Bellingham will actually go. So I think it's good to have Florian Wirtz. He's weak in aerial duels. Obviously, that's fine. You don't expect your attacking midfielder to be strong in aerial duels. It would be silly if I would say Luka Modric is weak in aerial duels and he's stupid, he's shit. That doesn't make sense, right? So apart from aerial duels, I think he loves to play layouts, loves to play a through ball, loves to run the channels. He loves to hit that ball fast and hard. I mean fast and quick, and that is something which is interesting because one of the strengths of Florian Wirtz is hitting that ball fast and quick. That through ball, which I think we have delayed it a bit, not picking up the runs of Erling Haaland. So I actually think getting Florian Wirtz would mean we pick more of those runs of Erling Haaland than we're actually doing now. That would be a scary prospect for the Premier League actually. And finally, for today's piece of news, we come to Serge Gnabry. Serge Gnabry also has been linked out of nowhere, but I find this really good move actually. Sir, if we are in for it, because Serge Gnabry 27 is getting into his prime. A lot of people would say he was in his prime maybe 1-2 years ago when Bayern absolutely dismantled Barcelona 6-1, 6-2. I do not know the scoreline, but I think at 27, Serge Gnabry has that experience. He's I wouldn't say midst of his prime, but he's almost entering his prime because he's been inconsistent in his last few years. He knows the spaces, his positional play is excellent. He knows how to time those runs. And one of the great things about Serge Gnabry is his vision to assist his fellow strikers is superb. So his layoffs to Haaland, his sense to assist Haaland will all be actually superb. So Serge Gnabry, I think, more than a Rafael Leao, because Rafael Leao, I think he comes to City. Rafael Leao would again take an year or so, I think, at least to fit into this system, because Leao is just 23, coming from an Italian league, will take at least a year to adjust and stuff like that. But with Serge Gnabry, it's something else. Serge Gnabry is the deal, is the done deal. You bring in Serge Gnabry, then the front three would be Foden, Haaland, and Gnabry. That would just be that would just be something else. And then you move Grealish to the midfield. Then your midfield could be Rodri, Grealish, and probably and KDB. And in the future, it could probably Rodri, Grealish, and a Florian Wirtz, or maybe a Jude Bellingham, whoever you wish to bring in. Just imagine that front six. That would just be superb. That would just be something else. And also, I think with Gundogan leaving and with Pep, trying to play two attacking midfielders almost. He against Burnley, he played Julian Alvarez in the hole and number 10 position, and he played Kevin De Bruyne also almost there, right? So I actually think that we're almost moving towards a formation next season where it will be Rodri, KDB, and Florian Wirtz, or Rodri, KDB, and Jude Bellingham, for example, or maybe even an Alvarez over there. So that would be interesting. And you play with the back three, of course, Ake, Diaz, and another centre back, Akanji, for example, or Josko Guardiol. And then you have a John Stones or someone who could cut inside. So that, I mean, this formation is extremely interesting. This formation is actually superb. So I think Florian Wirtz and Gnabry could actually be the kind of pieces which we are missing this season to just take our game into another level. So some exciting pieces of news today, very interesting, right from Thomas Tuchel to the players we have linked. We have been linked to Gnabry, Florian Wirtz, so that's actually very interesting. So let's see how things progress. It's been a bit dull nowadays because no football. It's just the internationals, which is always sort of a dull time. But it's good that we are getting all of these transfer news and stuff. Anyway, guys, see you all and take care.